Welcome to Council Connection. I'm Melissa Youssef, Mayor and Durango City Councilor. This program is designed to give you a snapshot of happenings at the most recent Durango City Council meeting. And this time, we look at the October 15th meeting. During proclamations and presentations, we first recognize winners of the 2019 Friends of the Library Bookmark Contest. First place and runner-up winners recognized at this meeting came from dozens of entries submitted by elementary, middle, and high school students. The bookmarks must include original artwork and a book-related quote. Maria's Bookshop joined with friends with awards for the prize winners. The bookmarks will be available to library patrons starting at the Friends of the Library book sale November 15th and 16th. Next, the 2019 Library Community Champions were recognized. Nancy Peake has served in numerous roles during 12 years on the Friends of the Library Board, including Public Relations and Publicity Chair, Vice President, and President. And Maile Kane has served 5 years on the Friends of the Library Board, including service as Book Sales and Bookstore Chair, Book Sales and Donations Chair, President, Vice President, and Volunteer Coordinator. Public participation included pleadings from a Library Advisory Board member about reopening the library on Sundays.
As I understand it, the 2020 budget that has been proposed to Council accommodates additional library personnel, which would in turn accommodate the opening of the library on Sundays. And the Library Advisory Board has asked me to relay to you, in the most earnest terms I can muster, our wish that you keep this in this provision in the 2020 budget.
Our consent agenda had 7 items, including 2 related to the November 5th public hearings on the 2020 city budget. One item that was removed requested City Council support for the Mountain Town's 2030 Climate Action Pledge. This pledge was created earlier this month at the inaugural Mountain Towns 2030 Net Zero Summit in Park City.
Simple pledge, it's not hard commitments of any particular goals or any particular timelines, but just speaking to the necessity of working together on common causes to address some of these concerns that they were discussing relative to climate change and other activities in that regard. So the pledge is pretty standard, and I'm just going to read a couple of these lines real quickly. The first item is to lead community conversations about setting courageous and action-based climate goals and make significant impacts by 2030. So certainly that first one fits in with what the council just approved a little over a month ago in terms of some of our goals.
All the consent agenda items were approved. There were 2 legislative hearings. The first dealt with changes to the city code relative to the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages to reflect current state beer and liquor code definitions. The second considered text amendments to the Land Use and Development Code and 2 of the city's design guidelines to realign them with recently adopted sign codes. There was no public comment at either hearing, and both items were approved. We also had 2 quasi-judicial hearings. Both involved routine lot subdivisions, one at 780 Hidden Valley Circle and the other for a lot in the Twin Buttes development. There was no public comment, and both items received council approval. During reports and actions, it was noted that the city is taking applications later this month for the Strategy and Long-Term Finance Committee.
We're looking forward to having assistance with what types of creative, innovative, efficient, and anything financial you can think about we can do for our city and have a better decision process, bringing in people who have expertise and knowledge from a variety of fields, economics, data processing, data research, all sorts of interesting things.
More information can be found after October 18th on the city website at durangogov.org. We have several upcoming events and items of interest. Durango's largest public works project ever, the Santa Rita Water Reclamation Facility, is drawing to a close. A ribbon cutting celebrating its completion is set for Friday, November 1st at 10 a.m. at the facility. Election Day is November 5th. You should have received your ballot in the mail if you are properly registered to vote. Ballot needs to be returned to these 2 drop-off locations by 7 p.m. on November 5th. Downtown Durango Children's Halloween Trick-or-Treat is from 4 to 6 p.m. on October 31st. This is a fun, safe way for families to trick or treat offered by our downtown merchants. After Halloween, recycle your pumpkins, gourds, apples, and other fruits by taking them to the La Plata County Fairgrounds November 1st and 2nd. They will be used by local farmers as feed. Lastly, it's hard to believe, but Snowdown is just around the corner. Event hosts are reminded that event schedules must be filed by October 31st. More information is available at snowdown.org. Our next study session will be October 22nd at 4 p.m., and our next regular City Council meeting, which will include the 2020 budget public hearing, is November 5th at 6:30 p.m. You can find agendas for meetings online at durangogov.org/meetings. And please remember, if you haven't done so yet, join us in taking the Civility First Durango Pledge by visiting durangogov.org/CRC. And that's Council Connection for the October 15th Durango City Council meeting. I'm City Councilor and Mayor Melissa Youssef. Thanks for joining us. And remember, you can always contact your city councilors via email at citycouncil@durangogov.org.